So we all know that film these days is just stupid expensive. It's literally double what it used to be when I really started getting into shooting film. But there's one particular thing that Kodak is putting out that I don't feel like people are talking about enough. And Kodak Gold in 120, Kodak Gold 200 is absolutely the thing that I think a lot more people should be talking about and using. So today we're gonna show a bunch of images. It's pretty much been the only film stock that I've been using on medium format for the last couple of years since it came out. So let's talk about why I love it and why I think a lot more people should be using it. So I want to do a couple quick disclosures on this as well. Kodak is not paying me to make this video or anything like that. I would obviously love it if they did. That would be fantastic. But I have done a few projects with them in the past, and I just know a lot of their people. They show up to industry events and things like that. So they've been a supporter of just my general photography career. And one of the very first videos I ever did was when they launched Ektachrome. So it's pretty much the thing that launched this YouTube channel. So if you do want to go check that out, the video quality isn't that great, I think, but the images are really fun. So I do want to thank Kodak for just being a good partner to me. You're never gonna see this, but shout out to Tim at Kodak just for being legitimately just a friend and then supporting me, because they do send me film here and there, little care packages, as they say, usually without really expectation of me doing anything necessarily. So I did want to sort of disclose that as, I guess, just like an industry professional and whatnot. But regardless of that, this is all going to be about why I specifically am choosing to shoot gold over some of my more favorite film stocks. But here we go. So probably my favorite film stock of all time is Portra 800. There's just something about the way that the colors shift in a kind of a weird way. And while it's actually using the older technology, it doesn't have all the new Vision 3, I think it is, that 160 and 400 does. It's grainier, it doesn't have as much latitude, but the way that the colors shift in that film is really, really cool to me. And if I was going to shoot any film, for just more unpredictable things, especially like I do a lot of weddings, obviously. But all that being said, the reason that I've been shooting Gold 200 is specifically because it is about half the price of Portra 400. Currently, as I'm looking on B&H right now, you can get a Pro Pack, which is what we call these like 5 packs of film. You can get a Pro Pack for $34, $35, something like that. And even though Portra is on sale, Portra 400 at, I think it's like $65. Again, that's almost half the price. Gold, it was always kind of like that drugstore film stock, like the stuff I always used all in my point and shoot cameras and things. And I think that in 35mm, you see a lot more of where the grain and the detail and the colors and things just aren't as there. But when you're looking at a larger negative, that's where, as long as you're not looking for like maximum flexibility, maximum color, maximum sharpness, I have really, really loved the look of this because it pushes into that medium format look while still retaining all the things I love about just shooting film. It has a little bit of grain. It has things that maybe landscape photographers or something like that wouldn't be very into, but it's still going to be a lot more clean and all that stuff because you're using such a large negative. Now, I also find the 200 speed film to be pretty good, especially for all of my kind of like outdoor wedding-ish stuff. A camera like this Hasselblad here has a maximum shutter speed of 500, so 1/500th of a second, and the max aperture of f2.8 makes it so if you're shooting a 400 speed film, you're going to be overexposing quite a bit if you're not going to be using ND filters or using a faster film stock. And so while 200 speed film at f2.8 can be more limiting later on in the day, it does end up being really, really useful. And again, the last couple of years, I have been almost exclusively shooting gold. And before this came out, shooting gold would have felt like a cop-out. I wouldn't have shot gold for professional stuff on 35mm. But for some reason, I think that the jump to medium formats, once you're getting that larger negative, it really kind of expands how this film looks and how it performs. And if you look at these image samples, I really don't think that if I just told you right off the bat, hey, yeah, these were taken with gold, or these were taken with something that cost half the price of Portra, you would be thinking like, oh yeah, these are terrible. Like, oh yeah, there's a big loss in image quality. It just doesn't look that way to me. Again, this film stock isn't going to be as clean as something like Portra, but the look of it still is really, really good. You get a lot of great tonality. The skin tones are still really good. And if you need to dial things back a little bit or shift your colors or whatever, you can either ask a great lab like Indie Film Lab, or if you're scanning your stuff yourself, then obviously you can make those adjustments. I've been doing a lot of scanning myself, and almost all of these examples are things I scan myself. I'm using Negative Lab Pro as well as the tools from Negative Supply. And again, I feel like if someone even just showed me these and asked me to guess which film stock, I probably wouldn't say gold. I would probably say somewhere in between Portra 400 and Portra 800. But overall, if you are either looking at checking out medium format film, or if you already do shoot medium format film and haven't tried out gold, honestly, I think you're missing out. And for the vast majority of stuff, I have mostly just shot gold for almost everything that I've done in medium format over the last couple years since this film stock came out in 120 again. So I guess this isn't necessarily a review, just more of like an ode to Gold 200 and saying that if you haven't tried out medium formats, again, check it out. It is almost half the price of Portra, and I think it does 90% of the job at 50% of the price. So thanks so much for watching. Again, if you want to check out that video I did on Ektachrome, you can do that up here. You can check out my video on scanning, and I specifically think I do scan some of these gold examples in this video up here, and I will see you in one of those ones.